Good afternoon and welcome to the Trading Success Blueprint, the Beginners Online Trading webinar. My name is Danny and I'll give you the webinar today. Before we will begin, as always, I would like us to go through a quick sound check to make sure that the sound is clear and that the chart is obviously visible for everyone. Please use the question section to comment that the sound is okay and that you can see the screen. Okay, in the meantime, I will explain how the webinar is going to happen. Thank you, Michael. Okay, I'd be happy to see if more people can see the screen. Thank you, Franklin, Georgine. Okay, very well, very well. So like I said, this is a live webinar, the beginners webinar, but we're going to learn things that will obviously be useful for the future, not just for beginners, but for the rest as well. So the first part will be more of an introduction to AvaTrade, to the facility, to the platform, what functions we have and difference than other platforms. Okay, on a nutshell about some things that we added here to the left, which can be extremely useful for everyone. Yeah, that's give or take what will happen on the first part. Second part will be much more practical, and it will be the majority of the webinar. It will be about some essential basics for trading, including the meaning of buy and sell. We'll speak a little bit about the leverage, margin impact, some more things here, pending orders underneath. Yeah. Okay, and lastly, the third part is optional. It's more involved with analysis, but it's only if time will allow us. Okay, any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Now, guys, I should tell you that the webinar is recorded, so rest assured if you couldn't catch the first explanation or the second, or just from another reason you want to recap some parts in the webinar, so you can conveniently go to our channel on YouTube and find this webinar. It doesn't appear on instant. Usually it takes an hour, a little more than that, could be a day, and then you can find it in our channel. And to be frank, the rest of the webinars there as well. Not many people know they're looking for certain things. It's usually in our channel on YouTube. Okay, now I would like to make sure that the webinar is recorded, as I just mentioned a minute ago. Then I'll be back and we will begin. Thank you very much. Okay, it seems fine. It seems fine. Before we will begin, I would like us to have there we go. Okay, so like I said, I'm Danny. This is the Trading Success Blueprint, the Beginners Online Trading webinar, and we officially we are starting. Okay, so like I said, the first part will be an introduction to AvaTrade, and many of you already know we are a regulated company, a licensed company since 2006. We have 9 licenses worldwide currently. The customer service can be found right here at the bottom left, and it can be accessible via the web trader, which this is the platform we're looking at right now. Okay, let me write it down. Okay, this is the web trader. It's one of the few platforms we have. Like I said, if you've got any inquiries, anything you need assistance with, so the customer service is accessible via the chat or through the WhatsApp or through cs@avatrade.com. Now, I should tell you that this platform doesn't require you to download or install anything. Just log in with your email and password to avatrade.com, and it should look exactly like that. If it's not, like I said, you can send an email to customer service and they will fix it for you, or to your senior account manager. Now, a senior account manager can also assist you with queries regarding trading. Okay, and the customer service is taking care of the customer service. Okay, now when I say things related to trading, that could be also things that we're learning here today, like calculations, like a plan, like a strategy is an example, or just any explanation regarding trading, to be honest. Okay, and you don't have to pay for a senior account manager. You can ask for somebody to be assigned on your file as soon as you've activated the account and you're ready to go. Now, beside the web trader, we also have it in the app. And just on a nutshell, the web trader can be also accessible on your personal device. So this is the desktop version maybe, but the app looks very similar. I could say it contains the majority of the functions we have here, which I'm going to show you today on the desktop version. Okay, and beside that, let me just mention the other platforms. We're not going to delay about them too much. Okay, so the other ones that we have are MetaTrader 4 and 5. Again, we're not going to elaborate too much about them presently. We also have Ava Social and Ava Options. Okay, I've noticed that options became very popular recently, and I gotta tell you that the options platform is just incredible. It's just composed in a way that even a beginner or a professional options trader can really enjoy that. Okay, it's called Ava Options. You can find it in the store on your device. And Ava Social, so we're climbing, right? We're climbing from the bottom to, oh, something here doesn't make sense. You guys gotta let me know if something is not, you see, I've placed here 2 3s. So I'm doing a lot of things on the screen at the same time. If something doesn't make sense, please tell me. Okay, so we're going up. So we spoke about the options. We now have a social. Just before we carry on with the web trader, we're going to speak about those 3 just in a nutshell, and then we'll carry on with ease. Okay, so Ava Social, what it does is it lets you follow other traders. For instance, if I'm a beginner and I'm not exactly sure what my next moves are, and I would like to see somebody else's trades, okay, and understand a bit better how a strategy can work, I could just go to Ava Social, find myself. It's in form of lists. It's very organized. It's very accessible. And I can find myself somebody to follow. And in a later stage, that means that I'm going to get his trades. And if I wish to partake and do the same things or not, it's up to me. That's called to follow. Okay, to follow someone. And you can also copy someone, which is been done automatically without anything special. Okay, if you decide to copy somebody, you're just going to copy him. That's exactly as it sounds. It will require you as a personal recommendation that your balance will be computable. Otherwise, if you don't adjust it, result will never be the same. Okay, MT4 and MT5, again, we're not gonna delay about it too much. I'm just gonna, perhaps I should say that MT4 and MT5 are very straightforward platforms. They're amazing for execution, but you're not gonna find many things. Again, I'm more speaking to beginners audience now, but okay, you're not gonna find many things that you find on the web trader. So if you want to execute on MT4 and MT5 from the web to analyze on the web trader and execute on MT4 and MT5, you can. Okay, it's one of the biggest benefits that AvaTrade has. You're gonna see the trades on the web trader, what you've done on MT4 or MT5, and vice versa, which means that you can do the trades on MT4 and you're gonna see it on the web trader. Okay, it's a huge benefit. It helps with doing things on the go in case you don't really have time to sit on the computer. And okay, now we're going to proceed. Like I said, we summed all of those. Now we're going to proceed with the web trader, a little bit about the surroundings that we have here. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but this is probably the way that it was opened, right? It wasn't with the, yeah, usually it doesn't open with this thing. So I'm going to show you how to open it and some other things. One of the unique things that you're going to find, and that's the reason that I've mentioned that you can execute on the web trader and analyze on MT4 and vice versa, is because it has some features you're not going to find on MT4 and MT5. As an example, one of the things that we added recently here is the signal section. Now if I'm going to click it, it's going to take me to a whole section with signals. I don't know if, okay, let me just explain on a nutshell what I mean by signals. Okay, so signals are instructions what the cell and, oh, sorry. Okay, so there are instructions when to sell or buy. They're not going to tell you which asset to sell or buy, but if you've already picked an asset like, let's go with Germany for now, okay, with the DAX. And if we're looking at the DAX, you see there are certain levels already analyzed, support and resistance, that are on the chart. I'm going to give you some tips how to use the signals much more efficiently than just randomly click here and there. But you could, if you want. Let me just show you before I begin explaining how simple it is to use the signals, okay? So let me go back just swiftly to, okay, so let's suppose we are here at the moment, okay? There are two ways to access the signals. One of them is I'll fold the chart down by clicking on the two tiny arrows to the upper right. You see how easy that was. Then I'm simply going to click on the blue lightning icon, and then I have the signal sheets in here. This is one way. The other way, like I said, it just simply go into the section itself, okay, and then I can pick from the list. So if we took the DAX as an example, okay, again, the information is here, okay, and then I can just click buy or sell, whatever I prefer, and then everything is already set for me. Now, let's understand the meaning of what's happening here, just so it won't be in a form of gambling, okay? The signal is providing me with certain levels to understand. Now, I'm not going to see a daily analyzed signal if I'm looking at minutes. Therefore, what I need to do is I need to see the daily, I need to change from minutes to days. Okay, and then I'm going to see the levels. I don't know if you noticed. Let's look at it together. So the highest point that I can see on my chart is barely 16,926. And already here it's presented 17,130 and so on. So how will I see that? I need to zoom out. And to zoom out, I need to change from minutes to perhaps hours, but in this case, days. And then my highest point is much higher, almost $100 higher. I can scroll down with the wheel on my mouse if I want to, or I can change it to months. But with minutes, I'm not going to see that. Oop, maybe I took it a little too far. Okay. Okay. Now, in this case, okay, let's just proceed for the time being. In this case, I'm going to look at the resistance and support, and I'm going to decide if the signal is for me or not. Now, what exactly does that mean? Resistance, support? We don't fully understand, but let's just understand the concept itself, just on in a basic form. So support resistance are basically levels presented on a chart with several pivot points that allows us to indicate potential retracement, potential bullish or bearish, okay, depending on the level and depending on the situation. Now, that means that if this would have been my one of my supports, so the support will represent the feeling, the floor, the ground, if you want to put it this way. In here, 17005.7 will probably be my resistance, which is already very close. I don't know if we're going to see that. Yeah, probably not. Okay. But it's already accessing, it's already getting very close, right, to that point. Now, what exactly does that mean? That means those points, those support and resistance, are what used for the signal to be created in the first place. Okay, you can see there is the pivot point here. There are certain ambitions for a buy scenario and for a sell scenario. Okay, that means naturally that if I'm buying something, it doesn't matter what and in what price, whenever I'm buying something, my intention is that it will increase its value. Okay, for instance, I bought it when it was 69.19. It got up by $100, and I have one share. I'm gonna make $100. Therefore, when I'm buying, I want it to go up. When I'm selling, I want it to go down. Now, God forbid, if I bought something and I wanted it to go up, but it went against me, I'll have a loss. Now, I'll show you how it's done. Okay, we're going to click on the buy scenario just for the sake of the discussion. We'll see how it's built. Okay, so we have the take profit. The take profit, its job is to close the position with a profit. Quite self-explanatory. Okay, because if we bought and we wanted it to go up, we can also ask the platform to remember that price. And if it reaches that price, it's going to close it with a profit. And this is why it's called take profit. Stop loss does the opposite. That means that if it reached a certain level like this, as an example, and I've decided, okay, if it passes that line, I don't want to sell anymore. Okay, because when I'm selling, when I'm buying and I have it targeted to this price, it's going to stop my position from losing more. This is why it's called stop loss. So take profit in a buy will always be found up and stop loss down. And if it's a sell, vice versa, when I'm selling something, my take profit will be lower and my stop loss will be higher, okay, preventing me from losing more than I want. Okay, as simple as it sounds, this protects you from losing more than you should have had. Of course, you can adjust it on the go. You can adjust it on the go. If I, for instance, I decided to go with the signal, later on I can change it if I want to. Okay, it's not permanent. It's flexible. I can change it. There is a limit to that. It can't be too close to my entry. There is. I don't want to waste time on that now, but basically you can adjust it. Okay, it's extremely flexible and very simple. So in this scenario, let's go with 0.1. It's already, never mind. So we're gonna go with just 1, okay, as an example. And if it goes up by 100, how much is it now? Let's change it this way, 17. Yeah, we're gonna change it to this way. Oh, sorry, we're gonna place a 0 in between. Yeah, so $100 up because we have only one share. It gives us 100. Very simple. Okay, and if we would have gone with the sell scenario, not sure I want to keep explaining about that because I just wanted to explain about it on a nutshell. Okay, but you guys, I guess you guys understood the format, right? I can choose whatever I want here. Oh, one more thing. The way the time that the signal was produced has an impact on how successful it will be. Okay, the reason is, as you can see, some levels here already occurred. Oh, this is pretty, well, pretty fresh. Let's find something that, well, it probably wouldn't be here. Look, there is a limit. There is a limit to when you can take the signal, and the reason is, you see that there are certain levels that the signal is based upon that already occurred. Okay, so if one of the levels that we expected already hit, You need to know that before you're taking the signal and to notice it. Okay, otherwise you might get tangled. Okay, so obviously we want to take the signal that was produced now and not a signal that already passed certain levels, because then we can never know where the signal is heading to. And you'll see that the signal can be, I don't know if to call it expire. Yeah, you might find things that already gone from the list. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. What is here has a signal, but what is outside, just want to show you that. You see what is outside, well, oh, there we go. You see, some things you don't have it. Some things, if this disappears, I know that the signal that was produced in here has already expired. Okay, has already passed that levels. Okay, never mind. I don't want to delay about it too much. We're just going to carry on swiftly. In here, there is the news section. Okay, this is great for fundamental analysis. I get a lot of questions about how can you do fundamental analysis and what is relevant and what can we trade and how can we know. Well, this is the answer exactly, right? You can find here the information lined up very nicely. Choose categories, right? You have here commodities. If I'm into commodities, here, if I'm into stocks, it's also going to show me, by the way, what it's related to. And if there is more than one, there you go. You see, it's going to show me both of the assets related, which is amazing. Okay, it's just amazing. It's a huge time saver. Okay, and that's provided by the Trading Central. And underneath, you can find something else for fundamental analysis. We're going to go with economic calendar. Okay, and in here, I can also filter by the flags. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're going to see all kind of countries here. Let's unmark UK for now. We're going to go all the way up. Now it's general. It's going to show me everything. If I specify the Aussie, oh, the Aussie should be up. You see, so it's going to show me only the Aussie. Okay, news related. And it's going to show me several things. First thing that I'm going to look at is how important that event is. If it's low impact, it means it doesn't really have such an impact. Perhaps I'll save my time to analyze something more valuable, like this. Okay, you see this in Australia, interest rate decisions are taken by the Reserve Bank of Australia board. The official interest rate cash rate, that cash rate is the rate charged on. Well, we're not going to keep reading. We just understand that it's important for now, and it's related to the cash versus the interest rate. Now, let's see. Oh, there in here we have something else. Here, this is the CPI customer. Just a second. Yeah, so this is the customer price index. Yeah, never mind. You understand the idea. I don't want to delay about it too much. So we have high, medium, and low. You can focus on what's more interesting to you. We have also several indicators to each and every event. We have what actually happened. This will only be on things that already occurred. Forecast is what we are expecting to be. Believe it or not, it depends. It determines a lot of the fluctuations on the market, right? The forecast is based on usually previous. Okay, so no, I don't wanna go there. I don't wanna go there now. I'm just gonna say that what happened last time. I'm just gonna translate it briefly. So this is what happened last time, what we expect to happen, and what actually happens. Okay, usually things that has reoccurrence, like the interest rate decision or the inventories, oil inventories, etc., etc. You're going to see the previous and the forecast quite occasionally and quite on specific dates. Okay, you can also, there are websites that you can find it, when it will be in the future, in here as well. Let me see if I can show you. Search. Oh, there we go. Used to be a Megalify somewhere down here. Never mind. So we have, let's go with the non-farming payroll, one of the most common ones. Okay, we're not, oh, right, sorry. I'm just gonna get rid of that one. Then we're gonna put none. And we have this is the next, this is Friday, okay? Non-farming payroll is on Fridays, and that's all the non-agriculture jobs applied on the previous month. So obviously you can see the previous result, what we expect, and afterwards what will actually happen. Okay. Anybody has any questions? Any questions? I'm sorry, I usually leave some space for questions in between, but today I just wanted to make as much as we can. Anybody, any questions about the signals, about the news section, about perhaps the economic calendar? Any questions? Thank you, Natasha. So Natasha, you're asking how much to pay. Yeah, well, basically AAProtect is to the favor on giving clients content without the need to pay. So obviously what you can see here for the time being is for free to use as much as you want. Okay, thank you, Natasha. All the services that I've shown are currently for free. Okay, Natukunda, does AAPtraders have an app for PC? An app for PC? This is a good question. Can you, an app for PC? I believe so, right? An app should be an app for the PC and for the device. I believe so, yeah, probably. Look, what I've explained is basically in the beginning we have the desktop version and we have the AvaGo. I guess that if you're using a Android version of, I don't know which PC using apps, but I believe again it shouldn't be problematic. Verns, how do you turn on the signals if they're not visible? Is AAProtect available in the US? I'm afraid not, Michelle. Okay, and Verns, you can't, I think what you're asking is how you know there is a signal for an asset, and this is by the tiny blue lightning icon here. Okay, and if you meant how to access the signal section is right here at the bottom. Okay, kind of in the middle, maybe not at the bottom, and then you can find. Okay, unless you meant to find which one has a signal. So everybody with the light blue lightning is with a signal, and what doesn't have it, so doesn't have a signal now. Okay, could appear though. This could appear in 5 minutes, in an hour, perhaps. I just don't know. This also could disappear. What I've explained about the expiry, right? The production time and so on. Okay, thank you guys for the amazing questions. We're gonna carry on to the second part. Okay, we're gonna stick with the web trader for the time being. I'm gonna do something that I don't usually do. I'm gonna let you guys pick the asset. Okay, please, which asset would you like us to look at today as our example? David, you want oil. Okay, Harold, gold. Anybody else, gold or oil? Sure, you want Nasdaq. Franklin Gold. Okay, so I guess gold has the most. Gold has the most. Kind of one. Okay, let's open up gold and see what we have today. Okay, so again, as I've explained, this is super simple. All I have to do is just to scroll down, find it in the commodities, go to metals, and we have gold, or I could just as much put here gold and pick it from the list on the search field, right? This is also a search field, by the way. You can put here gold and pick it from the list. Okay. Now, it's not a secret that gold is very interesting, right? I mean, look at the size of those candles. That's impressive. Okay. All right. Okay then. So to begin with, we're gonna spread down 4 ingredients. You guys know the drill, right? Soon, let's look at the pound versus dollar due to the breaking news this morning on CPI. Okay. They get somebody in business. Okay. But unfortunately, soon we can't do that because I have things I've been requested to cover in this webinar. So analysis we'll have to put it aside till the end, and if we'll have time, hopefully, I'll give on a nutshell just a word about it. Okay. But we have to proceed for the time being. So the first thing, what is the most important? Oh, sure. Before I carry on with that, just on a nutshell, we're gonna go through the toolbar here just to know what to click and when to click if we want to do something. Now, the first thing that I did, I don't know if you noticed, perhaps it was a bit too swift, is to click sell or buy. Then I open the sidebar here, and then I can get all kind of information. And one of the things is obviously the price, my bid and ask. And then we have instrument details to know when this instrument, for instance, this instrument, all the instruments has time that they are open and time that they are closed. So for instance, if I want to buy or sell Apple now, can I do it? No, the market is closed, right? How will I know? I'm gonna click here, instrument details, and it's gonna show me, sir, the market is open, this and that, okay? So for gold, which is luckily, if we want, we can trade it now. You see, similar. Then I can see the overnight fee, which is called the swap. We have the spread here, the difference between the bid and the ask. Okay. Now, when I'm buying, it will always be higher than the selling price. Why? Because there is a spread in between. And when I'm going to open a position, it's going to have a tiny minus in the beginning to begin with, which is called the spread. Now, if I'm covering here the toolbar, keep going to the right, yeah, from the search field here, we said. So if this is the search field, I keep going to the right. Here I have the time frames. We already play with that when we looked at the signal, right? This segment is 4 minutes. Now, I don't know if you can see that little stripe here, right? This little, sometimes it's challenging to grab it. So what do? Is I just scroll down on the wheel on my mouse. I scroll up and down, and I'm exposed to more time frames. So this is minutes, hours, days, weeks, and months. I think that for the time being, this looks pretty good. What about the days? Okay. Let's stick with days. For the time being, I think it's pretty enough. If I keep going to the right, I can change it to the bars or to the line. See, there is a line here. Nice, lovely line. Okay, we're gonna put some things. We're gonna put some, oh, you know what? I don't want to delay on that for now. Yeah, I don't want to delay about that for now. Okay, if I keep going to the right, I can change my crosshair. This is pretty mandatory if you're asking me to change the crosshair from the no crosshair to the crosshair. The main reason, well, the only reason is that with this default mouse, I can't really get any info from the candles, right? what I must do is I need to change from no crosshair to crosshair. And while I hover with my hand across the chart, it's going to show me the information from the candles, right? As simple as it sounds. I can fold it down if I really want to, but I want to keep staying with the crosshair. Otherwise, no info, guys, no info. Okay, but with the mouse, with the crosshair, I can get the info, the open, close, high, and lows, which are relatively important for technical analysis. Now, I can look at two things at the same time. You see, there is a different layout here, 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 and we're going to go back to what we looked at in the beginning. I gotta let you know about something though. You see, if I split the chart, it's going to show me here gold. Oh, yeah, it's going to show me gold and NASDAQ. Now, you remember that I told you that clicking buy or sell opened here the sidebar, right? But when I click on the chart, it's going to keep what I had here before. So if, for instance, I'm looking at NASDAQ and I'm clicking buy, it's showing me gold. I got to make sure what I'm analyzing and what I'm executing is actually the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to click buy or sell. There you go, and it's going to bring it up. But pay attention, because as you saw, I opened NASDAQ and it was gold still. Okay, you got to make sure. There we go. Now, if I'm using an indicator, I can look how easy it is to just apply an indicator. Let's take the RSI, click here, drag, and click save. Yeah, how long did it take? Less than 10 seconds to remove it. Again, click on the X, click save, perfect. Now, I click here on the tiny arrow to open an inventory if I want to keep a note. And remember, oh, sometimes it's a little dodgy. Yeah, sometimes it's messing around with you. You got to choose the right time frame for that to work. Here we have the arrows just to remember what we analyzed. If it's a buy or a sell scenario, we're going to use a lot of those when we're analyzing to remember a certain time frame. You see the ray at the bottom underneath. It's showing us the day. Here it indicates the price levels for support and resistance. I have also the Fibonacci retracement if I want to include a certain parameter to my you know what, I think we're running too fast. Let me clear everything and go back to our business because I don't want to confuse anyone here. Frank, what about AAProtect? Could you explain it? Yes, I'm gonna thank you for that because I don't want to forget. But let me get to that. Okay, first, again, like I said, I want to give some practical tools. And yeah, I hope so. Okay, let me also write it here at the bottom so I won't forget. Okay. Now, as we are looking at gold, and now we went through the guide through, we know what each. Can I use only one indicator at once? No. Harold, this is look. I'm gonna drag the Bollinger Bands and I'm gonna drag the average true range and I'm gonna drag the linear regression curve as an example, and we're gonna click save. You're not limited to a single indicator, okay? But to tell you if it's good or not to use many indicators, I don't know. Yeah, of course, with pleasure. Okay, let me get rid of, oh, I can get rid of everything at once, by the way. Click delete all and save. Now, thank you for asking that, by the way. Thank you. So looking at gold, what's the first thing? Let's suppose that I decided to go with this sell, right? Let's suppose we looked at this. This pretty much looks like a strong resistance. Okay, couldn't break it beside this exception right here. Okay, and I assume, without being too specific, that this was something fundamental. Satri Nasri, you have a question. Why are the spreads so high on some pairs, making the profit line so far away? How do we lower the margins? Well, unfortunately, the margin that is required for a certain asset, the spread doesn't have a lot of impact on the margin. The margin is more depending on the leverage, and the leverage is depending on the regulator. So the leverage that we are giving is usually the leverage that we can give. Because as I said in the beginning, we are licensed. We are a regulated company. Very restricted. Now, the spreads being high or low is determined by how the market is fluctuating. So if you're looking at something very volatile, right, the spread can be tightened and widened according to how the market is moving. So you can, if you think that the spread is too high to trade a certain asset, you can put it aside, whether if it's a currency or not, and get back to it when it's more come down. You don't have to, again, you don't have to. I'm just, if something is too high, I can either trade it when it's high because I want to take advantage of the volatility, or I can just let it rest. Like, okay. I hope it helped what I said. And thank you also for bringing that up because this was an excellent question. Yeah, so let's suppose that I decided to go with the sell. That's some kind of resistance, 2050. I can say that it's pretty strong. We're not going to go through the whole history of gold, but you'll have to take my word on it. Between here and here is pretty strong. It broke only several times as a result of fundamental occurrences. Okay, and I decide to go with the sell. Okay, let's change the buy to sell. Perfect. Now, in this case, when I'm selling, and I'm selling 2033, let's suppose that I think, what's the lowest? 1922. Let's suppose that I want to get to 1950. Just, you know what? Let's go a little more adventuristic. So 1933, this is my target. Okay, this is my target. It seems like it's not going to cooperate with us, but we're going to put it down here. We have two things. We have now price and we have gold price. We're going to keep it simple as much as we can. Okay, and see if it's messing around with you and it doesn't let you land on a specific number. What you can do is you can click it. You can change its coordinates to exactly what you want. In our case, that's going to be 17. Okay, yeah, and the difference is $100 per ounce. Oh, no, what? Per unit. It'll be easier. Now we have this is a sell. Okay, now the first thing that I need to think about, let's suppose that I took a sell. Okay, we have 2032, selling. Okay, let's suppose this one is one of my support line. It's a little lower than that, but we can civilize on that, no problem. Yeah, let's say that I want to take a sell. When do you think? First of all, let me ask you that. Do you think that the market will surely get to that point? 1933. Who thinks that it's just a matter of time till it gets to this point? And who thinks that it's never going to get to that point? It's a tough question, right? What we need to add to that is the time. Time giving us different dimension. when we're looking at this price, if we think it can get there in a minute, is that possible? You think that it's possible it will get there in a minute or not? No. Okay. What about an hour? Let's check for the sake of the discussion, when was the last time it's been there, okay? Just as an example. Let's place a price line here, 12th of November. 12th of November. That's more than a month, right? Let's be generous. Can it get there in a month? I'm not looking for a guarantee here. I'm just asking as a, okay, possible. Harold, possible? Okay, Tommy, yes. More people. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So if it can get there in a month, what do you think? Is this a good goal price? Could be. How can we know? So the first thing that can help us is obviously a goal, right? For instance, if our goal is, let's say, $500, okay, and we are looking at it, we said a month ago, let's say that the time will be 1 month. Okay. Now, the third thing that we're looking for is the movements. And lastly, we are looking for the units. Now, both are question mark presently. And we're going to apply to try and sort out the movements question with an indicator called average true range. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on an indicator. We're going to click here AVE, and we're going to click and drag the average true range to this boxy thingy. And we're going to change its color casually to mustard or yellow. Well, that makes no difference really. And we see that, oh, sorry, we are on days and we need the average. So I'm just going to tell you in a nutshell what it does. This indicator is actually summarizing the differences between open, close, high, and lows, okay? And it measures the laugh of each and every candle for the previous, let's see how many we have. Weeks, 14 weeks, oh, we're looking at days, sorry. 14 days, it takes the average and it's giving us the range. Now, if it would have been weeks, it would have been the average for weeks. If it would have been months, it will be the average for months. Now, as you can see, this is pretty not bad. This is pretty good, right? 127. 127 is the average movement for gold for a month. So whoever wrote down here in the question section that it's possible it will happen in a month, apparently was right. Right? Is it in the range or not? Guys, I want you to see that. 127, and we looked at only $100 difference. So of course it's in the range. We are in the green. Okay. Now, I'm going back to days just to see the picture. Okay. Now, if the movement is 100, right, between this to that price, how many units do I need to make 500? How many units to sell from 2050 to 19? Oh, sorry. No, that's not the. There you go. To make something here doesn't make sense. It should have been this way. There we go. To make $500. So $500 divided by 100. How much is that? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to answer, guys. 5, 4, 3. Good job, Harold. Good job, James. Who else? Franklin. Who else? Mitchell, very nice, very nice, very nice. So whoever wrote down 5 was absolutely right. Let's check and see that we are okay with the calculation. We're going to open up. You remember, take profit closes the position with the profit. Stop loss stops the position with a loss. So 1933, 900. Let's change the 5 and we are perfect. 500. Let's try this exercise to the other side. So that means 12133. Yeah. Now, the only thing that bothers me though, in this case, okay, is the time left. What do you think about making $500? This is more philosophic discussion rather than the webinar that we're having now, right? But we're playing with it as a discussion. Why I need to be careful with the time that I'm choosing, whether if it's 500 making in a month, 500 in a year, 500 in a week. How will I know where to aim with the time frame that I want to trade? Who determines during what time I'll make my money? Me. How so? Freddie, if you can please explain. What do you mean by me? I determine? Harold, okay, the market. Okay. If the money worth my time, okay. So you're saying that I need to decide during what time to make the money to know it's worth a while. Makes sense, okay. Now there, me, depends on the market movement. Yeah, okay, like Freddie. Okay, so I need to know which candles I'm analyzing, and I need to know that this $500 are really useful for me, right? During that time. In this case, I don't really mind. But let's agree, guys, $500 in a month is not a lot of money. Okay, making it in an hour, making it in a day, that's pretty good, right? Maybe even a week. But in a month, okay, but it's irrelevant for now. Again, this is everybody can decide whatever time frame they're analyzing. I could just as much go to decide that I want to make it in a week, 1 week, and just to see, to go to 1 week and to see it moves 62. So perhaps I would choose a little higher take profit because again, we're selling. So the take profit is always lower. Okay, never mind. I can, basically what I'm telling you guys is that you can adjust it. Some people struggling with a strategy and they don't exactly know how to go about things. At the end of the day, that depends on you. And like many people wrote down here, it also depends on the market. We have indicators here to help you and so on. Okay. Yeah, so let's proceed. There was a question about AAProtect and I want to explain about it. So just before we do that, I want us to understand the cost. Tying up margin for a month means I need more liquidity for more trades. I'm not sure, Sustri, what you mean by that. If you can just explain with an example perhaps, or be more specific, that will be amazing. Because I do want to give you an answer. AAProtect, the way that it works is super simple. It allows me to protect this position. And I can decide I want to protect this position from 1 hour up to 3 days, 2 days, I think. We're always adjusting it so we can never know. And the fee that I'm going to pay, okay, let me recap. I can protect my position for a certain time frame, okay, from 1 hour up to 2 days. The meaning of it is whatever I'm going to lose on my protected position, I will get back. I'll get my losses back, okay? Whatever I lose during the covered time frame, I will get back. That means if I covered this position for 2 days and I've lost money during 2 days, I will get back what I've lost during those 2 days. But if I decided to keep my position open, I will not get the partial amount that I lost. If I lost, after the coverage ends. And I may not extend those 2 days to 4 or 5 or more. Whatever I determine in the beginning of the coverage will remain till the expiry that it's mentioned here at the bottom. And the second thing that I must notice when using AAProtect is the fee versus my ambition. If I'm paying $45 and I'm planning to make $500, pretty good, right? What about if it would have been this way? Actually, it's still worth it. What about now still? Yeah. Now, if it goes down $3, I'm just going to make 17 paying 45. That makes no sense. Okay. So you got to make sure that the fee that you're paying is actually it's worth the outcome of the positions you're expecting for. Now, the last thing that I'm going to look at is potentially how much this position cost. Okay. Now, how much money do I need in my account to open this position? How much money I need? So, price per unit is 2033 units. We said 5. So 5 multiplied 2033 equals 10. Danny, how did you do it so fast? Because it's written here, guys. Okay. I may be fast, but not that much. But we're going to do it manually just for the fun. Multiply 5. Yeah. See, it's down here. The following, so this is the value, right? Value. It's not what I need, it's just how much it's worth. Now, there is the second thing which I spoke about a minute ago with Sustry, right? Which I've explained about the margin and how it's determined. So this is the leverage. The leverage multiplies my buying and selling power. Meaning, if I multiply it by 20, that means that I can naturally take my, just a second, margin impact. Okay, which is the amount to open a position, right? Right, and how does it work? We're gonna take 10,165 divided by the leverage, and we have 508.28, right? Now, and this is the true amount that I need, the necessary amount to open a position. Guys, are there any questions at this stage? Any questions, guys? Any questions about, and if you don't have to raise your hand, you don't have to, you can write down like everybody else. Any questions, guys, about anything? The AAProtect product, the thing that I've explained here, really anything. Will US ever be, frankly, I don't know, Michelle, we're a regulated company that depends on the license. I'm not authorized to comment about the subject. Okay, because again, I'm an educator. So yeah, of course, with pleasure. I don't want to deliver any misleading information, God forbid. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I hope that each of you guys could enjoy a little something, a little to learn from the webinar. Yeah, so I wish you all best of luck. Whoever gets to join us tomorrow will enjoy the live Q&A we're doing, which will be at 12, I believe, right? Yeah, 12. And that's it. So have a good rest of the week and have a good day.